me share with you a coaching technique that I use with one of my clients this week. And she was, right now, she's in Spain. And she was, some months ago, she was saying, "Oh, I really want to go." And I said, "Well, kind of write down what you want." And what I shared with her was a story from Joseph Murphy. Y'all know he wrote the Power of the Subconscious Mind. And he was on a tour, and they were, I think they were in Spain. Yeah, that's why I shared with her this particular story. And the lady came up to him and said, "Are you Dr. Joseph Murphy?" He said, "Yes, I am." She said, "Oh, you really changed my life." And Dr. Murphy said, "How?" She said, "I always dreamed of going to Spain. You know, my ancestors are there, but I never had the money. I just felt like it was impossible." And she said, "Then I read your book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. We know whatever you deposit in your subconscious mind is what's going to happen and come to pass." And so she began, it was back in the day, collecting brochures, looking at pictures, and she was just sort of drawn to a specific hotel. So every night before she went to sleep, she would see herself living in that hotel, picture herself feeling it, getting relaxed in that dreamy state just before she would go to sleep. We call it the hypnotic or the theta state. So she imagined that she was in that hotel, probably out on the balcony, looking, smelling the meals downstairs, so she just used all of her five senses. So she practiced that for about a week and she didn't know how. So I told my a client, you do not have to know how. And I'm saying to you, you do not have to know how. So she took her folder to work, with all of her brochures and of Spain, and she was looking at it. And a male coworker saw her and he said, "Wow, I love Spain, and I've been thinking about going to Spain." And they start talking, and of course, they had a lot in common about travel, and of course, the rest. They start dating, and then they got married. Now we're still talking about deciding what you want and holding that picture in your mind. And I always say, if God has to get 8.2 billion people to get to you what you desire, if you hold that true to be true. I was with Dr. Barbara Franklin this week celebrating her birthday, and she was talking about all of the light atoms that are just here to fulfill, here to serve, and to here to support us. But that's quantum physics, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So, of course, they got engaged and got married. And then one of the presents that her aunt gave to her, she paid for their honeymoon. And guess what? She suggested, "Why don't you guys go on a trip to Spain?" You see how the spirit worked? Auntie didn't even know nothing about um, Spain. But when you're in the spirit, when you hold that dream to be true, like I just said, God got a million ways to get it to you. So whatever you deposit in your subconscious or whatever you believe you receive, remember, it magnifies, it multiplies exceedingly. So what was she doing? And what did I tell my client to do who's now in Spain? Begin thinking from it, not of it. And so my client that's in Spain right now, she was uh, about flying first class. And I said, "Girlfriend, you don't ever travel internationally unless you go in first class, especially if you're going from the US, and the trip is 8, 9, 10 hours. No, no, no." And I told her, "Don't worry about the how. Don't worry, just begin to think from it, not of it. One day I'm going to fly first class, one day, but think from it. See yourself boarding the plane quicker. See yourself being able to stretch out your own legs. See them already serving you. Because when you're in first class, they start serving you as soon as you sit down. So some of you have been thinking of it. I want that. But I told my client, begin to see yourself. You already on the plane. You already hear them saying, "Okay, we're ready to board first class." So I'm going back to my story. So this woman who met Dr. Murphy, she was thinking, remember, she was thinking of that hotel. She wasn't thinking excuse me, she was not thinking of it. She was thinking from it. It means that she was already in her room. She was already in the hotel. She already was on her balcony looking out. She already heard the people speaking in Spanish. Everybody see that? So it is the feeling, y'all, that gets the manifestation. I am in Barbados now. That's never guarded. I told my client, you're in first class now. So you're thinking from it. So know what you want and think from it. Don't think about it. Don't think of it. And give it your imagination. Give it the feeling. Smell it, taste it, see it. And assume that you already have it. Mark 11, 23, 24. When you pray, believe that you have that, and then fall asleep in all of the senses that you already have it. So you're just going to stay in that state or stay in that belief and persist, not with a lot of effort, but persist in your feeling and your assumption in ways that you don't know how, that I already have my desire. And my client really called to thank me for that. And she's in Spain right now, and she flew first class and flying back first class. So if you want a coach that can walk you through what I just shared, that will give you real life examples from my own life. That is the way I went to Paris decades ago. That is why I only fly first class. So if you're looking for a seasoned coach, yeah, I've been a law of attraction coach for 17 years. Plus, I've been living my life like this. You may call it word of faith. You may call it a believer. You may call it quantum science. Whatever it is, I would love to work with you. I'm currently coaching clients on 5 continents. All of them get assignments and how-tos, and all of them will receive just this wonderful way that they can begin to move from where you are to where you desire to be. Let's do a discovery call. I always say if you're ready to invest in yourself, invest financially, invest in time and effort, man, by the end of this year, you could be living your dream life. Before the end of this year, I had one client say, Constance, my life changed after the first session. My client in Australia, Elizabeth, when we first started working. So I'm gonna counsel you first, and then I'm gonna coach you. Counseling deals with your limiting beliefs, your past stuff. You've heard me say, you can't coach on top of stuff. It just doesn't work. It's like putting on fresh new clothes and you haven't had a bath in a week. And so we're going to push out the old so that we can make room with the new. And I'm a living witness of the life that I am talking about. I'm living it and have lived it. So you guys know that I'm a spiritual woman. I'm spirit filled, so I'm bringing all of that to our session. So email me, Constance at fulfillingyourpurpose.com, and say, I am ready for a 20-minute coaching discovery call. Of course, there's never any pressure for me. I remember this guy, Keith Moore, used to say, faith doesn't put pressure. And that's nothing but the truth. I am coming to you from a place of abundance. Is that all I want to say? Wasn't that a good, juicy story? I love the way I merged the story with Joseph Murphy with my client. She better bring me back a souvenir from Spain. I think she's in Barcelona. So everybody, let's take a deep breath in. Let it out. One last time, a deep breath, everybody. Let it out. I'm going to be right back.